Hello and welcome back to The World is Storytelling with me, Ronnie, and this time with the fabulous Lucy. Now, Lucy works for something called the Tyne Derwent Way, which is a trail running along the Rivers Tyne, the River Derwent, in Gateshead, which is a place I have a lot of connection to and a lot of passion about. I think it's the best place in the world, south of the River Tyne, that is. And Lucy thinks it's a great place too. So you should definitely find out more about the Tyne Derwent Way and Gateshead as a whole. Make sure you're following us on the podcast, subscribe for more. Now, before we hear Lucy's stories, do you know what a ghost uses to wash his hair? That's right, shampoo. Thanks for listening and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
So tell the story, one day is true. Yeah.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
Hello.
Where are we?
We are in St Mary's Heritage Centre on the banks of the Tyne. It's amazing, isn't it? You can get married here.
Can you?
No, it's not a church. It's
Right.
consecrated.
Oh, okay.
But you can have your reception here.
Unless you're Wayne Rooney.
Go on.
This is a completely off tangent, on a tangent. But I don't know why I know this, but Wayne Rooney got into a fight with the Catholic Church. Because when him and his wife got married, they got married in something like this in Italy. Like a beautiful old church.
Yeah.
But it happened to get deconsecrated. But because
Yeah.
they've got so much money, they managed to ship over their priest, I guess, from
Yeah.
Liverpool, who did it there without really checking with the local authorities.
If you're listening, Wayne, if they want to renew their vows, they could do it here. Any other Premier League footballers can apply.
Can they?
No. Before I start, what's your favourite bit of Gateshead?
Well, one of my favourite places to be at the moment is on the Staithes. It's a really nice redevelopment of the old coal Staithes. And I love just sitting there and watching the river go by. And just a little anecdote about Gateshead here. So my family is very associated with Gateshead, I guess you could say. So my great-grandfather was a rabbi, he's passed away now. And he wrote a book, a religious book. And it's called Gateshead, but in Hebrew. So, and that's an homage to the place that he ended up. He wasn't originally from it, he was an immigrant from Lithuania.
So how do you say Gateshead in Hebrew?
Rashi Sha'arim. One of the things I love about Gateshead is that it's, at least where I am, it's a lot on hills. And I love walking outside the house and actually seeing green fields. And so when I get coffee at Prism Coffee in Saltwell Park.
Great one.
Dan has been on the podcast, by the way.
Has he? I'll have to listen.
You should. He does amazing coffee, and when you just sit at his place just outside, you're looking down over Saltwell Park and over the hills.
The Tyne Derwent Way, this project that I've been working on for a year, but has been in the minds of Gateshead Riverside Partnership. They've been holding it for like a decade. Is thinking about along Gateshead's rivers, the Tyne and the Derwent, hence the name, there is all this richness of beautiful green space, amazing history and heritage, and culture. And I think that the way I see my job increasingly is about placemaking along the way. And we're working with ecologists to make some of the green space more accessible and healthier for nature and for people. We're working with amazing local historians who could tell you stories of this place, St Mary's Heritage Centre, and the Staithes that will blow your mind. Like, Gateshead has such rich history going back pre-industrial revolution, and originally it would have been the hunting land for the Durham bishops, and then industry came to the banks, and there's such a strong history of migration because people came from all over the world to the banks of the Tyne. And so we've been working with these volunteer rangers from the National Trust estate at the end of the way, Gibbside, who've been coming off their property into the centre of Gateshead and helping us clear so you can see down to the cone and make the pathways safe. So that's all the nature. How do we bring people into that space and make it feel like their own? And then you get to the Staithes, which has been closed for a few years. I mean, you've seen it, it's got this massive gap in the middle because of this giant fire. And this summer, we've been open to the public. People have been able to walk onto the lower deck of, it's the biggest wooden structure in Europe, purportedly. Yeah, so that's this project, and it feels like a really good way, not of creating new stuff for Gateshead, but celebrating the people and the culture and the heritage and the nature that already exists.
A funny connection to this is the Bentham alien. Have you heard about the Bentham alien?
I've heard rumours of someone who believes there was an alien in Bentham. My favourite fact about the Staithes, I'm going to butcher this, I'm not good at facts, is that Stephenson's rocket, he is obviously one of the Northeast's favourite heroes because he I mean, kind of as the father of the steam train. And obviously trains came onto the Staithes. So you would think that those two things mean that they're really good friends, the coal industry in the northeast and Stevenson, and of course he is. But before the steam train, the Staithes would have been like the busiest port in the UK, I think, for like the export of coal, because it was just all this beautiful downhill to the Staithes, and so they could just roll their like wagons all the way down and then get horses to draw them back up. And then when the train came along and everyone started putting rail lines down, all these other coal fields around the country that had loads of coal but couldn't get it out onto rivers to export it were able to get their coal out on trains, and suddenly the like share price of coal in the northeast dropped loads. My other favourite thing that's like a contemporary story is that when we, like our little team arrived in this job, we had a budget to spend on community engagement. 3 different projects were chosen to run, one of which, this was so popular, and I think this is interesting because it shows the Gateshead people value this, was about telling the tales of the history along the way. And we've now got Farnaz and Owen, 2 brilliant colleagues who are working on creating this podcast with local people. And one of the groups that voted for that is a youth group in Dunstan, the Dunstan Drop-In, absolute legends. And we went back last week and ran some auditions for the narrator of the podcast. And so a couple of the young people from there are going to narrate the podcast and tell the stories. Nice. It's like young people saying, yeah, we want to learn about this. Older people saying, we're really worried about future generations not knowing these stories. They're going to work together to tell the stories of Gateshead history. So that feels exciting.
Oh, that's truly amazing. And I have to say already, I mean, when I was younger, you would not have people running on the Gateshead side of the river, for example, or walking or cycling. And now I see, I walk along there, you see parents with kids, people cycling, riding, talking, and it's so nice to see that happening.
That my hope is always in communities that organise to support one another and that like say no in the face of forces that try to divide them and turn them against one another. And my favourite story about that was when I was doing some community development work for the Methodist Church up in Chopwell. There's this amazing lady who's lived in Chopwell all her life and overheard a conversation between a mum and a child in the corner shop where the child said to her mum, please can I have an ice lolly? It was a really hot day. And her mum said, I'm sorry love, we can't afford to buy you an ice cream today. And this lady said to me, Lucy, should we buy the kids at Chopwell some ice creams? And every Sunday of that summer holidays, we set out a little stall outside the Methodist Church, and the mostly ladies of that church bought a massive box full of ice cream, and we just like served the kids of Chopwell who were playing outside all day. And it was the simplest thing and absolutely joyful. Before this, the highlight of my life, I'm really proud that I've started cycling this summer. Like I've only just discovered it.
Oh, wow.
I inherited a bike from my Uncle Bob, who died last year and was a really keen cyclist, so much that like all of his nephews and nieces that wanted one inherited a really good bike.
Wow.
Which is amazing. And I've been like cycling around Gateshead. I did a little triathlon this summer, which involved cycling. Cycling was quite bad, and I've also just got clipping shoes and I keep falling off as a result, but it's really fun. I'm so proud of myself because it's like, it's good on every level, isn't it? And so, yeah, I do want to brag about that and encourage everyone to get on the bike because it's really fun. I get so euphoric when I'm on my bike that I like sing to myself or like whistle. Like I've been on to whoop when I go down a hill. I was singing to myself the other day and cycled past someone who I work with but don't know particularly well, and he gave me quite a look. But I thought, do you know what you'd be singing to if you're on this bicycle going down this hill?
What were you singing?
Good question. Probably a Sabrina Carpenter song. Down with the Kids, yeah.
Yeah, very, very down
Very
with kids.
catchy.
Wow. Yeah. It's giving Brat Summer.
Yeah, it is. It's given Gen Z, which I am not.
But this is it. Neither of us are, but we're trying. I tell you, we're trying. Keep us relevant.
Yeah, Brett Summer.
Yeah,
I think it's over now, actually.
Well, I mean, this morning, considering that, well, we're both absolutely soaked from the rain outside.
Yeah, you more so.
Well, I did cycle in, stupidly, with no mud guards.
That sounds like a brag. Yeah, brag about your cycling.
So if anyone out there wants to sponsor me a waterproof coat, because we've realised this morning that mine is not waterproof anymore. One final thing from you before we finish this.
Yeah.
What you asked me what my favourite part of Gateshead is. What's your favourite part of Gateshead? But
Okay.
off the beaten track.
I love Tanfield Railway. It's so beautiful. The walks are absolutely gorgeous, and within minutes you can go from like being in a place full of houses to just being in the open countryside. It's really high up and you can see over all the fields, and it's like my happy place.
Did you know Gateshead has a castle?
Come again?
Well, he said, was it called Ravensworthy Castle or
Oh,
something?
Ravensworth. Yeah, down by
Raven-
Kibblesworth. There's a man who does amazing bird walks and talks across Gateshead, including some of ours, called Michael. And he was walking there by Ravensworth Castle once, and he has this like bag of curiosities full of like bird stuff that he finds.
Okay.
And the wing of, I think it was a falcon or a kestrel, like a bird of prey, a whole wing fell out of the sky. And he has this wing that he shows, and people are like, where did you get this from? Did you pull it off a dead bird? And he's like, no, it literally fell out of the sky into my lap by Ravensworth Castle. Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing. That's slightly bizarre, and it's a perfect advert to finish on. Come to Gateshead, treasures fall right out the sky. Thank you, Lucy, for coming on the World of Storytelling. It's fantastic to meet you again, and thanks for showing me to this beautiful, beautiful place.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
My absolute pleasure.
Some say the old ruins in the sand tell us every story will come to an end. But my dear, we can live what we tell. We are storytelling animals.